but also dimensions of our national strength will be brought together. And we have tremendous stimulus now, tremendous stimulus, and we're going for more. We want to do this for the small businesses and the workers.
All right, the Senate scrambling today to make more money available for America's small businesses. And it comes as funds allotted for the Paycheck Protection Program begin to run dry.
Joining us with how the White House is working to put the nation back to work is Director of Communications for the Trump 2020 re-election campaign, Tim Murtaugh. Sir, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it.
You bet. Good morning.
Of course. Let's take a look at some of these numbers. The Small Business Association loans to the small business owners through this Paycheck Protection Program, $100 billion and 400,000 loans. Where do we stand today?
Well, let me talk about the importance of this program. First of all, the president has two very important responsibilities. He has to protect the health and safety of the American people, and he also has to safeguard the economy, which is why protecting small businesses is so important, because they provide about half the jobs in this country. So the president knows that the money really has to keep flowing to these folks. The idea is to have people not miss paychecks. If they get one of these loans, if the small business gets one of these loans from the Small Business Association and they use the money to keep paying their workers or to pay rent on their physical location, then they don't have to pay the loan back. The loan is forgiven. And so it's important to businesses weren't made and don't have the cash reserves to just close down and sit idle for 2, 3, 6, 9 months at a time. They just aren't built that way. And so the president knows that people have to keep the money flowing to make sure that the economy can come back to life when we're ready.
What do you have to say about what's this problem that you're seeing? I guess Lindsey Graham made a big point of it the last couple of days about employees choosing to take unemployment rather than to stick with the business, because then that complicates the ability of these small businesses to get that loan forgiven. What do they do about that? Well,
the point of the Paycheck Protection Program is to have the small businesses be able to continue to make their payroll. That's the purpose of it.
But if unemployment is more than that number, right, an employee is going to take that higher number.
That's true. People are always going to make the decisions for themselves, what is best for themselves and their families. What I'm telling you is that the purpose of the Paycheck Protection Program is to make sure that small businesses are able to keep paying their employees. And if employees go elsewhere, I'm not sure there's anything you can do to stop people making their personal choices. And perhaps those businesses will be able to find someone else to replace them. The idea is to be able to have the small businesses maintain the cash flow, to be able to maintain their payroll, so they don't have to just absolutely lay people off and force them to go on unemployment. And there are actually, certain requirements to be eligible for unemployment in the first place. And generally speaking, voluntarily separating from your employer is not one of those requirements.
We want to get your response to and your reaction to Bernie Sanders dropping out of the 2020 presidential